Hey guys, it's Bennett here from Games on Net. We're here with Hugh Bynan to talk about the new Metro Last Light. So what are some of the main things that you guys wanted to improve from Metro 2033?
So looking back on 2033, I think we came under some fairly valid criticism because some of our kind of core gameplay mechanics were just either a little bit shonky and in places maybe a little bit broken, and specifically our stealth. Some of our AI was a little bit unpredictable, not very consistent, and the feel of our weapons wasn't quite at the level that we'd like. And although Metro is always going to be focusing on that immersion and atmosphere and that survival horror side, these are the kind of areas that we think we can do pretty well. It's those areas that I mentioned before that we really wanted to revisit, build up some new systems to improve this time around. That's really what you saw in the demo today.
So how have you revamped the stealth to make it a little bit more predictable, not so hard to do?
So first of all, we've made it much more easy, much more simple in terms of communicating to the player, whether they are stealth in a position of stealth or not, and just changing some of the patterns of the enemy AI, the things that are going to alert them, and making you, the player, aware of when your cover is likely to be alerted. So you can get away with doing some low-level actions like turning out a light or even shooting out a light in some instances that will draw their attention. And if you do something that's going to draw attention, you may have heard it in the demo, there's like a small audio cue as well to give you that suggestion that if you do anything a little bit more, you could really rouse their suspicion. So it's just a way of gauging how the enemy AI is likely to respond to what you're doing.
Now the first game was a key NVIDIA title, was stunning on PC. You're releasing again on PC and all the consoles. Now there's a big gap now between Xbox and PC. Xbox is 5 years old. Are you still going to be pushing the edge when it comes to PC graphics while still delivering a console experience?
Yeah, I mean, what you saw today was running on relatively modest hardware. We're really excited about the next range of graphics cards that are going to come in around the time when we're releasing next year, and the engine is pretty scalable, and seeing what we can do with that. We've already introduced much more sophisticated lighting this time round, as you probably saw from the demo. Also much more dynamic destruction within the environment. So we had destruction in the engine last time. We reserved it for a few kind of set piece moments rather than baking it into the game. This time round you would have seen much more destructible cover, many more objects in the environment with physics attached to them to create a much more dynamic environment there as well. So when we really get into our polish phase and we look how we can stretch that, I think there will be no doubt that if you have a top of the range PC and you've invested on one of those latest cards, then this is going to be the game that will really make it sing, as we hope the last one did.
Now you guys are also coming to the Wii U. I know you probably can't say a lot about that. The graphical experience, can we expect something along the lines of PS3 or surpassing PS3?
I can't really talk too much about that at the moment.
Come on.
All I can really say is you saw the demo they put up in their press conference.
Was that running on Wii U hardware?
You probably have to ask someone at Nintendo.
Okay, all right. The last game, the AI for the mutants was quite simplistic. They just kind of charged you and chased you. Are you reworking the AI system this time around?
Yeah, you saw a little sneak peek of the creature at the end. We haven't come up with a final name for that particular beast yet. There's a few ones kicking around. Using a combination of sight, smell, and other senses to locate the player. In that sequence, when you see a longer playthrough, the smaller mutants can actually leap onto its back and guide it and help direct it towards you, almost like riding it. So we try to think of new ways to make the mutant combat experience a little bit more varied, because the last time it was very much you had these hordes of creatures rushing towards you and leaping at you, and that kind of gameplay is also pretty exciting in some areas, but we wanted to add a little bit more variety to our mutant attack pattern. So yeah, you can expect to see more mutants doing more interesting ways of trying to kill you.
Last question, are you guys going to maintain the same ratio between suspenseful shit your pants kind of moments versus all-out battles and combat?
Yeah, I think it's really important that for fans of the original who really love that kind of unique mix that we had of the survival horror elements, and then the more, the the world building moments where you could explore the stations. We're absolutely keeping those parts in the game. It's something that we feel makes Metro really rich and unique. What you saw was, us putting our hand on the table and saying we fixed the stuff that you didn't like, because I think that's really important to the Metro fan. But we are absolutely keeping that balance, that survival horror aspect, the suspense, the fear, the supernatural elements. They'll all be making a return, and we can't wait to show you those parts as well.
Sounds great. Is there anything else you'd like to add, Hugh?
I think you pretty much summed it up for me.
Okay. So easy. Thank you very much.
Thank you.